Good evening, and welcome to tonight's special broadcast. I'm Trang, and we're diving deep into a story that's sending shockwaves through the global financial world. A story of calculated moves, hidden agendas, and a potential financial earthquake that could reshape our future. Tonight, we unravel a chilling narrative, one that paints a picture of a meticulously planned financial assault, allegedly orchestrated by a figure who has haunted global markets for decades, George Soros. Our story begins with a seemingly isolated incident, the dramatic plunge of Tesla, once the undisputed icon of American technological prowess. From its zenith, Tesla's stock price has plummeted, a breathtaking freefall that has left investors reeling. But is this merely a market correction, or is it, as some whisper, the opening salvo in a much larger, far more sinister game? The whispers point to a calculated takedown, a meticulously crafted operation designed to destabilize not just a company, but an entire economy. And at the heart of these whispers, the name George Soros echoes with a chilling resonance. For nearly 3 decades, Soros has maintained an unusual silence, a strategic quietude that has led many to believe he had faded from the global stage. But those who understand the intricate dance of global finance know better. Soros, they say, is not one to fade. He is one to wait, to patiently lie in wait like a predator stalking its prey. And now, it appears, the wait is over. The first shot, they say, has been fired, and it's aimed squarely at the heart of American innovation, Elon Musk. Musk, the embodiment of 21st century ambition, the man who dared to conquer space and revolutionize transportation, has become the first target in what some are calling Soros's grand financial design. Tesla's stock, a symbol of American ingenuity and market dominance, has been decimated, losing over half its value in a stunningly short period. Musk himself, never one to mince words, has publicly pointed the finger, accusing a shadowy organization, led by Soros, of deliberate market manipulation. But how, one might ask, could a single individual, even one as powerful as Soros, orchestrate such a dramatic collapse of a behemoth like Tesla? The answer, according to those who see the larger pattern, lies in a flawlessly executed script, a multi-pronged strategy designed to exploit the vulnerabilities of the modern financial system. The first act in this drama, they say, is the manipulation of the narrative itself, the control of the very information that shapes market sentiment. Soros, it's alleged, commands a vast network, a web of media outlets, both large and small, capable of amplifying any message, any narrative, across the globe. Within days, a torrent of negative press descended upon Tesla, a coordinated barrage of over 3,000 articles and news reports painting a bleak picture of the company's prospects. Sales figures in key markets like Germany plummeted by 70%, while in China and Europe, they reportedly halved. Every morning, investors awoke to a fresh wave of negative headlines: Tesla, 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 drowning in a sea of bad news. Fear, the most contagious virus in the financial world, began to spread. The psychology of the herd kicked in. And within a week, a wave of selling began to gather momentum. But the media onslaught, they say, was merely the opening act. The second, and far more devastating blow, came in the market itself. Soros, it's alleged, had quietly amassed a significant position in Tesla stock, accumulating shares at inflated prices. Then, with surgical precision, he unleashed a massive sell-off, dumping a staggering 18% of Tesla's publicly traded shares onto the market in a single, coordinated strike. This, experts say, is a market manipulation tactic of extraordinary scale, a shockwave designed to shatter the delicate balance of supply and demand. When such a massive volume of shares is dumped simultaneously, the price, inevitably, collapses. And fueled by the pre-existing narrative of fear and negativity, the panic intensified. Those who hadn't sold early were caught in a stampede, desperately trying to exit as the price spiraled downwards. Yet even this, they say, was not the end of the assault. A third, almost physical, layer of attack was unleashed. Across the United States and Europe, Tesla's physical infrastructure, its charging stations, its showrooms, became targets of vandalism and sabotage. No clear motive, no claim of responsibility. just a series of disruptive incidents designed to further erode confidence in the company's operational stability. The message, they say, was unmistakable. Tesla is under siege, under attack from all sides, and then the final potentially fatal blow, the bank run scenario, was set in motion. Elon Musk, in his acquisition of Twitter, had reportedly leveraged a significant portion of his Tesla stock, using 63% as collateral for loans. This, experts warn, created a ticking time bomb. If Tesla's stock price were to fall below a certain threshold, the banks, bound by their risk management protocols, would issue a margin call. If Musk could not meet the call, they would be forced to liquidate his collateral, dumping vast quantities of Tesla stock onto the open market. Such a forced liquidation, they say, would trigger a cascade, an unstoppable avalanche of selling that could crush Tesla and send shockwaves throughout the entire market. Because when banks start selling, it's no longer about fear. It's about cold, hard, unavoidable financial reality. The question then arises, why Tesla? Why now? Why this particular moment in time? The answer, according to those who see the grand design, is that Tesla is merely the opening gambit, the first shot in a much larger war, a war not against a single individual, not against a single company, but against the very foundations of the American financial system. This, they say, is not just about Soros versus Musk. This is the prelude to a global financial cleansing, a reset of the world order, orchestrated with the same ruthless precision that Soros employed to shatter the British pound in 1992 and plunge Southeast Asia into crisis in 1997. But this time, the target is not a small, vulnerable nation, but the United States itself. And if you still believe that no one can short America, perhaps you also believed, as many did, that America could never face bankruptcy in 2008. But they came perilously close. The problem, then as now, is that while the epicenter of the explosion may be America, the fallout will be global. If you are unprepared, you may already be on the list of those who stand to lose the most. 2 scenarios, they say, are now in play, both potentially devastating for Tesla and for the wider market. Scenario 1, the media and bank run scenario, where the relentless negative narrative, coupled with margin calls and forced liquidations, triggers a self-fulfilling prophecy of collapse. Scenario 2, the liquidity crisis scenario, where fear and panic lead to a freeze in the market, a moment where no one wants to buy and everyone wants to sell, leading to a catastrophic loss of liquidity and a market meltdown. Neither scenario is pretty, and both, according to some, are precisely what Soros and his allies are aiming for. A perfectly executed short-selling campaign, they say, never begins with numbers. It begins with fear. And Soros, the master puppeteer of market sentiment, has transformed Tesla into a stage, a theater of emotions, where market psychology is manipulated with breathtaking precision, layer by layer, act by act. Many analysts, they point out, are focusing on Tesla's declining sales figures, its operational challenges, its competitive pressures, but these, they argue, are mere distractions, surface noise obscuring the deeper game. The real target, they say, is not Tesla's balance sheet, but something far more intangible, far more powerful. Trust. Trust, the invisible glue that holds the financial system together, the most valuable, yet most fragile, asset in the market. While the world debates Tesla's intrinsic value, Soros, it's alleged, has already launched his primary weapon, media manipulation, in less than a week. Over 47 major news outlets worldwide simultaneously published articles with a uniformly negative tone, highlighting Tesla's sales slump, employee dissent, internal strife, environmental concerns, and market share losses. It was, they say, as if orchestrated, a symphony of negativity designed to strike directly at the emotional core of the investing public. Every morning, when investors checked their phones, they were not greeted with financial reports, but with a tidal wave of fear-inducing headlines, a relentless barrage of negative news. And in today's hyper-connected world, where information travels at the speed of light, a company can live on hype, but die by rumor. And when those rumors are amplified by credible media outlets, they cease to be rumors, they become perceived reality. Soros, they say, understands this power, and he wields it like a flamethrower, igniting a wildfire of panic across the market. In just a few trading sessions, Tesla transformed from a symbol of American technological triumph into a ticking time bomb. But media manipulation, they argue, is only the first phase, the psychological preparation for the kill.